Well, folks, in today's video, we're going to be unboxing this Kato BNSF SD70Mac, which I picked up on eBay recently. I found this locomotive for around $80, and I decided to buy it just because I've been trying to add some new locomotives to my collection recently, and this one appeared to be in very good condition. And I'm also a huge fan of the BNSF H2 paint scheme, which this locomotive just so happens to have. So we'll get this thing out of the box and see what exactly we're working with. So here's the box. It's really nothing too exciting. Kato, I find, goes with a pretty kind of simple design for their boxes, but you can see all the details for this locomotive. This one has a nose light. I'm not sure if all the BNSF ones had that, but that's something that I like. And they're actually still making these things in Japan, which is kind of impressive. Anyways, let's get this thing out of the box and see how it looks. Now, this is a used locomotive, so I think it might be missing a few details here and there, which we might have to reattach. But right off the bat, it looks to be in very good condition. The details on these locomotives is absolutely terrific too. So you can see there's a little bit of damage here. The rear handrails have come off, so we'll have to glue those back on. But yeah, my first impressions of it are that it's not really missing too many details. I think that the horns might be gone too. I don't know, let's take this thing over to the workbench. We'll glue all the details back on, and then we'll take this thing over to the layout for an initial run. So we'll see what we can do to get some of these details back on. Find a little bit of adhesive, like some crazy glue is usually good. I've got some Gorilla Glue here, we'll be using that. I'll just put a little drop right here. And then we'll grab a toothpick and we'll use that to actually apply that to some of these broken off parts here. So in terms of details, this locomotive is already looking a little bit better. Unfortunately, some stuff is missing. You can see we're missing a handrail. I think we might be missing a plow. And as I mentioned earlier, the horns are gone. And I looked through the box for all this stuff and was not able to find it. So I think that that is gone for good. However, there is some other stuff we can repair, such as the coupler. Looks like somebody upgraded these to Katie's, but they didn't put the spring box, so they're completely loose. And that's just not going to work that well. So the couplers themselves are fine. We just need to add that box, which is quite important. Well, that's a little more like it. Now let's take this locomotive over to the track and go test it out for the first time. I'm really excited to see how this thing is going to run for the first time. I've owned a few of these Kato locomotives in the past, and they've all been terrific runners. So anyways, let's give this one some power and see how it goes here. That's kind of weird. Well, there's certainly power in the track. The seller said that this was a DC locomotive, but I wonder if it actually has a decoder and that's preventing it from running, because there's not currently any current draw. So I don't think it's an electrical issue. I really hope it's not an electrical issue, because I didn't see anything mentioned about this locomotive not being a runner. So we'll try switching this over to DCC and see if we can get it to go on that. We'll try number 3, which is a factory setting. Still nothing. All right, let's try the road number, which is 8802. Well, I'll be darned, absolutely nothing. That is really weird. I would especially not expect that of a Kato locomotive. These things are usually super reliable. I guess we could try doing a factory reset if it is a decoder issue, but most decoders will work on DC power, so for this thing not to start when given some voltage is already pretty unusual for an engine like this. So I've got it all set up on the programming track here, and we're going to attempt to do a factory reset. And basically what that's going to do is if this locomotive does have a decoder, it will set everything on it back to factory defaults and hopefully sort out any bugs this locomotive potentially has, because if it's not software, it's probably hardware based, which means we're going to have to open it up. But anyways, I'm going to put the controller into program mode. We're going to click steps, and we're going to put CV8 into 8 like so, and then we're going to write that to the decoder, and theoretically that should wipe everything off it. Hopefully I've done that right. I'm not super experienced with DCC. I am seeing the lights flickering a little bit now though, so that's a good sign. So now what we're going to do is restart our controller here, and hopefully if we set this to 8. Oh, look at what we've got going on there. Oh, check it out. Even the ditch lights are lit. All right, let's give this thing some power. Serenity! We've got a runner! And not only do we have a runner, but it turns out this thing has DCC. I am absolutely amazed. I really did not think that that was gonna work. The seller did not say this was a DCC locomotive, so that was really a ditch effort right there. And we've got a runner, like, darn. Well, that's freaking awesome. So I'm absolutely thrilled that that little trick actually worked. I really didn't think it was going to do a whole lot for getting this locomotive going again, but lo and behold, it's brought it right back to life. And it just goes to show you that sometimes a basic reboot is all it takes to get these modern locomotives going again. In this new era of DCC, things are just so much more complicated, and truth be told, I really don't have the knowledge to work on these as well. But sometimes the simple solutions are the best way to start with these kinds of projects. What's really interesting to me, though, is that when we set the power to DC, the locomotive is actually responsive now, which is super fascinating because as we saw before, it would not start. And what this proves is that this was purely an issue with the decoder and not with me typing in the wrong address or something like that. There was just something a little off with it, and it wouldn't take DC power either. So yeah, got the locomotive all back online now. Got new couplers on it. We got the handrails re-glued. I also readjusted these. It turns out they're actually covers for a couple posts which project the light out. So now those are working properly, and I think that that looks a lot better too. So I think this engine's ready to go. So let's go pick up some intermodal cars over in the freight yard and take this thing for a spin around the layout. Well, folks, I think that that's going to be about it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. I'm overall very happy with this new locomotive. I think that it works very well, and I'm so happy that that whole decoder thing worked out. Just such a simple solution, and really just not something that you encounter too often. So I think that that's absolutely great. I also have a couple more modern locomotives, which are going to be added to the collection in the not-so-distant future. It's not to say I'm going away from Tycho and Lifelike and all that stuff. There are plenty more of those locomotives to work on, but I just thought it'd be kind of nice to add a few modern ones to the mix just to kind of shake it up. But anyways, until those new videos come out, I just want to thank you all so much for watching.